be live this time. Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to another Lab Maniacs Month in Review stream. After freshly blue screening my computer, we just had to switch to another face capture software because that's just the way she goes, I suppose. But Cameron has fixed everything, so everything should look as normal. So, I'm Dan. Cameron's somewhere near me. And joining us for this month's Month in Review is Scotty of Scotty Knows MTG. You can see him in... Yeah, that's you. Say hi, Scotty.
Everyone. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Scott.
So that's Scott. Scott will be joining us, or Scotty, or Scoots, or lots of things. Just kind of throw syllables out there with an S, and they work.
It's true.
So we're going to be covering a whole bunch of cEDH related topics, and apparently some not cEDH related topics. But we're going to be doing this as our live broadcast of our soon to be uploaded to YouTube podcast.
Yes.
As always. So I guess let's just get started. Let's talk about some of our cEDH games from the past month. Scotty, take it away.
Oh, I've had some really good games from the past month. I've been testing out a new deck. I've been working with Sick Robots Retooled, definitely not Virals a lot.
Nice.
Doing some tests with that. Been trying like Bomberman piles and a bunch of weird things just to see where I can get the deck to go. A lot of my games have been against Hard Control and Blood Moon and Back to Basics, and it's killing me. But
those are so bad.
So I'm slotting in like so many basics at this point, and that's driving me nuts. But I've had some really good games where I actually won through a Back to Basics with Dorks. That was fun. They got the pattern through the Dorks on a Back to Basics.
Oh, that's good.
I keep drawing Flash and Summoner's Pact, and I think about 50% of the time I die on the next turn, and 50% of the time I win the game when that happens.
Yes. Yeah, I get that feeling a lot too.
Yeah, but
I'm unsure if that sounds good to me.
You know what? What are we doing if we're not going for it?
Potentially winning because you pick a spot well.
That's fair. That's fair. But I actually had a really good game last night that was kind of a highlight of the evening. It's a simple little turn 3 win. Kept a very greedy 1-lander, but Flash and Summoner's Pact with 1 land and a Birds of Paradise, and managed to draw into a second land on turn 3.
Okay.
So I could actually have Dispel backup. It was delightful. It's a huge mistake, but for some reason it worked out. So
that's nice.
So it's totally worth it.
It was totally worth it. Yeah.
Optimal play.
Definitely don't ever do that, but
it worked. Therefore,
it worked. Therefore, it's not stupid, or maybe it still is.
No, it's good. that's just good magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, now I have been playing with some Tasker updates this last month, as well as I've been trying out First Sliver, and it's really fun. You ask a lot of questions, and it's really my first deck where I've been on consultation, and it's
a ride.
Yeah.
The very first consultation I cast, it's the end of the turn, the player right before my turn, so I'm going to try to do end step consult for Food Chain, and then untap into Food Chain with Counterspell backup. And I have 4 creatures out, and I've got the Eldrazi that casts from exile in hand. So I've got everything at that point. Consultation, name Food Chain. It's the top card in my library.
Yep.
Yep. A rite of passage.
Yeah. I mean, and it's even the end step, so like there is nothing I can do because it's untap, draw, untap, upkeep.
Die.
Yeah, it's just die. Show myself out of the game.
So many instances, like recorded gameplay of people say like demonic consultation for force of will in response to a game-winning spell and just flip their whole library upside down.
Yeah.
It's in the top 6. I think it's happened like 4 times in recorded gameplay for me, so
Nice.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think there's been a lab maniac who's had similar problems, but I can't think of his name offhand. He probably doesn't show up much anymore.
Dan. I'm sorry. I got a cough.
Also, how were my games this month, Cameron?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, I'll
Uh-huh.
take my turn.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. I realized after the Paradox Engine ban that I had been playing without it in my deck for about 2 weeks because I just didn't want a fat 5-drop anymore.
There you go.
Of course, I say that, but I've been testing Karn the Great Creator now.
Karn is so good, though.
He's been real good. In my my CST, it's a super slower mid range. I'm running 4 walkers now, Mox Amber.
Nice.
Main deck, Armasaur, and Mind Sensor. It's been smooth. It's like a step between E-Man and the Primer, Shapers, and Sleepies CST list.
Okay.
It's just good for my meta. It's just tuning. Specific games. Have I had any good specific games? I'm pretty sure I got dunked on by Mirren this month. I think that was this month.
Is that Charlie's Mirren deck?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that thing is basically Pox.deck. And it hurts so bad.
Value Town.
Yeah. We just couldn't close out a game early because I think it was like me and I think Will was playing Urza. And we both just like knocked each other once or twice. And then all of a sudden it was turn 15.
Yep.
And it doesn't go well from there.
And then you start getting Plague Crafted every turn.
Yeah. In fact, you exactly start getting Plague Crafted every turn. It's hard to keep a Thrasios in play. There's a Plague Crafter every turn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been something else.
Yeah, this month has been pretty big. We had those ban lists updates and that philosophy document.
Are we gonna do this now?
Yeah.
Here it
comes.
All right, everyone, put on your rational discussion hats, please.
All right.
And
let's
pull out your amygdala.
Yep.
Also, don't forget to put your controversy hat on right over top of it.
Yeah.
No
and your
controversy
tinfoil.
hats. No, none of that. None of that. Just remove your prefrontal cortex, plug it in to your brain, and only use that. I know it's part of your brain, but whatever. No emotions. Let's just talk numbers. Let's talk.
For those who haven't been on a subreddit in the last 2 weeks, let's talk about what actually happened. We had a ban list update. Paradox Engine was banned. Iona was banned, and Painter Servant was unbanned. Additionally, there was a philosophy document that went over 7 different criteria as to why they would look at banning a card, and then they had a few sections that were a little controversial, such as the fact that here's all these rules updates and here's what we used to use these rules, but use this as a guideline for your play groups. And then the additional line of this game can be broken and we think it's better when it's not. So with these ban list updates, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on in the community for both competitive EDH and for regular EDH as a whole. So Sheldon Menery did get a death threat, which was interesting over this. Bad.
Yes. Bad. It was
don't do that.
Bad. It was objectively wrong that he
got
a death threat over ban list updates.
Yes.
Let's use very, very clear language here.
Yes.
Don't send death threats for anything. Like,
yes.
Really, for anything that you would send a death threat about, just don't.
Especially not cardboard rectangles.
Yes.
Like, it's a tweens game. Like, honestly, we're mid-20s, 30s playing a tweens game. Like, don't take it so seriously.
Yeah, that one. That right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. And with all that, there has been quite a lot of talks. Thanks, Zorania. Yeah.
Totally right.
Death threats
Nail
are
on
like
the head.
dick pics. If you think it's a good idea, it's not.
It's not.
No one
That
wants to
yes.
see that.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear that.
I'm gonna screenshot that just because. Thank you. That's a
really good
perfect
one.
Yeah,
quote.
man, that might be one of the best snips that's ever come out of a stream.
People are saying I am a little loud. Let me try to fix that really quick. Sorry, guys.
That's probably just a personal issue.
Yeah.
And I'm a little quiet, apparently.
Let's mess with the bars, and maybe that will get it working. And we'll see if people think it's okay after that. I'm walking. And so amongst all of that chaos, there's been a lot of talk about format splits, and even to the point that the subreddit the mods had to put out a post about what exactly the stance is from the moderation community. Scott, what do you think about format splits?
I'm personally not a huge fan. I just look at the graveyard of dead singleton formats and like that's all I really need to go by. Like,
Yeah,
people
like
keep
how
throwing
many do you want?
yeah, I
There's
mean,
so
you go
many
like
dead ones.
what is it, like
Phenomenal.
tiny leaders and pauper EDH and brawl, which is a wizard sanctioned format, is dead. Like, if wizards can't do it with their own format, like what makes us think that we can take cEDH, which is an objectively small subset of a small subset?
Well, not a small subset. EDH is actually the most
EDH is pretty
prominent
big,
played
yeah.
format. It is the most played format at this point, I think.
It is, yes.
Leviathan, yeah.
Another
Leviathan,
dead format.
French Commander, MTGO Online, like,
In
I mean,
all
French is
honesty,
still played in France, but
we could also probably call Canlander and Auslander dead too, because they're played in like very localized regions.
yeah, like
Like, they're
Victoria,
globally
British
dead.
Columbia, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Even if
So
they had
it's
good
just,
scenes.
like, we can look at a graveyard of dead singleton formats and realize that format splits are objectively bad. Let's not do it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and
I
to
100%
piggyback
agree.
on that, it's also nonsense because, like, what are we splitting? If I am a spike and I like to play EDH, then I'm going to spike EDH.
Right.
So if
Yeah.
like some cluster of people splits off and makes some other format that's just like EDH but with a ban list managed by people who don't recognize that balance is one of the most fucked up cards ever printed by
Mhm.
wizards, then why on earth would I stop playing EDH like a spike, which I'm still doing, and
Right.
go do something else? Like,
And the fact is, to me, honestly, to jump in on that, the casual crowd is kind of in talks with people on Twitter and that kind of thing. I've noticed the casual crowd advocating for cEDH players to take their ball and go, right? But at the same time, I think casual players kind of conflate cEDH with pub stomping. I think they're expecting pub stomping to stop if we
Yeah.
split and go away, but people are just going to stomp within the new ban list. Like, it's just
Yeah.
that's just what's going to happen.
Stompers be stomping.
Yeah,
That's
people who
what
go
they
to
do.
LGSs and pub stomp are, it's not going to change.
Yeah, no, that will never change. And that's one of the bigger problems is just you can't push that out. And even pub stomp will happen in competitive EDH for a experienced player with a lightning fast deck against people who are still learning the format. It'll even happen there. The harder part that I think really hit a lot of people and might have taken a long time to put into words was something I had been feeling quite a bit, was the fact of a lot of the sentiment was that you're not playing EDH. You're playing something else and you should go do your thing elsewhere.
Right.
And it thanks, Dan. So it really hurt a lot of people in the community because it wasn't just we don't care what you are saying. It is you're not playing EDH. And at least for me personally, that was actually really frustrating because I mean I've been doing this for so long that there's no way I'm not playing EDH. Personally, this is the only format that I play that I love, and I've been doing it for over a decade. And coming back and saying, "Hey, just you're not doing it the way we think you should, so don't be here anymore." was really frustrating for a lot of people.
Extra
Some-
nonsense, because our
Yeah.
first recorded gameplay episode, Cameron and I were both arguably not even on cEDH decks.
We were close. We were on the edge.
We were close, but
Yeah.
we certainly weren't playing fully optimized builds of what we
Oh,
had.
no.
You know? It's
No,
like
I mean, we
fucking
were still
Terrador
growing.
with the Mere House Guard. No Imperial Seal, no, like,
Yeah.
still won though.
Yep.
But not
Mhm.
optimized.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like I saw Dan posted on Twitter, maybe earlier today, that if he ever stopped playing EDH, he would sell out of Magic and never come back.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
I feel exactly the same way. Like it's the only format that I play. So if people are telling me I'm not playing EDH, like, okay, well, I'll play whatever is EDH, and I'll deal with it because that's what I play. You know.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
There's no point. There's no point in Magic to me if I'm not playing EDH. I don't enjoy 60 card formats. So
Yeah.
never have.
Exactly. So with those responses and the proper way, there's been a lot of people who have reached out to the rules committee as well as to the commander advisory group, or the CAG. I'll call them the advisory group because that just doesn't sound like a trash name.
You don't want to call it the CAG on broadcast.
And there's been some things that have actually been really nice. Some of the CAG members have actually looked at playing competitive EDH and giving it a shot, which is one thing that I've really appreciated with some of the content creators like MTG Goldfish. When they've done their cEDH games, they've actually, like, everybody sits down with a deck and they just go full out in a pod, and they are going crazy in the pod. And it's still, they actually had fun with it. It wasn't their game, but they had fun with it for that time. And I hopefully in Vegas we'll be meeting up with Shivam and handing him a Gitrog deck and seeing how that goes, which will be fun.
You forgot to append his name with his official title, cEDH God King, Shivam.
That's true. That's true.
What now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
This is news to me.
Shivam Bot, cEDH God King. He's the man in our corner, so we must respect him with
That's
titles.
fair. Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the last kind of positive thing to talk about is Painter Servant's back. I don't really know it's going to do that much.
Go Momir.
Yeah, you play it in a couple of fringe decks, and it makes the fringe deck slightly less fringe.
Yeah.
Grindstone combo still sucks.
It's still
Don't
bad.
play that. Just don't. Please.
So-
no.
For some reason in my head, I'm not wanting to do Grindstone, and I'm just wanting to do Sphinx's Tutelage.
Wow, somehow you came up with an even worse answer.
It just requires you to
Actually-
draw a card. It's actually better.
And Tutelage pitches to force.
It does.
You've sold me.
Yeah.
Still
However,
a terrible combo, but it is
you
better.
know, Millstone also pitches to force if you have Painter Servant out.
I haven't had that much to drink, Cameron. Just
Everything pitches to force if you're brave enough with a Painter Servant. There you go.
you really don't expect anyone to have red blasts.
Do I start running it in my compost running decks, guys?
No.
No.
I'll let Siggy yell at you in chat.
Oh,
for
does
that.
Tutelage stop on non-lands? Did I mess that up?
It's okay. Meme combos no one was ever going to play, or still meme combos no one's ever going to play. Next up,
Yeah,
After
non-land
the,
cards. Okay, yeah, it does stop.
after the unimpactful unban, let's talk about a more impactful barely thing, which is M20 or Core 20, the core set Magic 20.
2020.
20 that's all right, whatever. That's too many. There's a
With
lot of
all
cool
those
stuff in there.
folders.
So who wants to say what they want to talk about first? Scotty, do you have anything you want to say about M20?
I'm gonna jump right to the bottom and say Veil of Summer. I really, really like
Sure.
it as a flash enabler.
Yeah.
I like to use it under the guise of drawing a card in response to a dangerous spell. and then people realize that my flash is not able to be countered, and that is fun.
Yeah.
That's all. I like Veil of Summer. It's neat. It's a niche Autumn's Veil, I
Mhm.
guess.
I
Yeah.
don't even know about that.
I
I think
think-
it's arguably a better Autumn's Veil.
It probably is.
So there are parts where Autumn Sail's better, and it's the exact same scenarios that was talked about during the set review. We've gone
Yeah.
over it. I think actually in most proactive decks, both of them have a shot. I mean, have a good slot. And in those types of decks, I definitely value it over like a Dismiss.
I think Veil of Summer is better in better decks than Autumn's Veil, which is why I think Veil of
Yeah.
Summer is a better card, because Autumn's Veil was kind of like garbage that no one would ever play in CST, but Veil of Summer is pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's enough for me.
Oh, Dan, do you have anything?
From M20. So I'm building the Kethis Teshar Hermit Druid pile, but I'm building it as a casual deck.
Okay.
And so far, it's been super fun to goldfish. It's like a little sloppy, and I cut it some. So like I pulled out the Mox Opal so that I have to have CC green white to combo and win
Yeah.
with Hermit Druid. So like I was forcibly slowing myself down on it so that it's like playable in my casual pots. But it's a cool deck, and I'm very excited. I have a foil Kethis showing up probably like tomorrow or something.
Okay.
It seems very fun.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to brew it up. I pulled a Kethis in my pre-release pack, and
Nice.
I've been wanting to brew it up. I don't know if it's particularly viable at like a cEDH level, but I'd love to build it as a high power deck.
I think it'll be good in fringe metas.
Yeah.
Someone in chat did just mention Veil of Summer foil prices. Veil of Summer foils were bought out the instant it hit market.
Yeah.
So foil prices are close to like $40 right now, I think, unless they've come down. And people were trying to get like 100 for them. So Veil of Summer foils, don't touch them for a while. Like
Yeah.
let the prices settle.
They have market on them as like 17 right now on
Yeah, they'll be
TCG.
back down to like 4 or 5 soon.
Oh, they're selling. They're already at. Some of them are already near mints for 17, so they're going down.
Yeah,
sure.
they'll drop, but just give it a bit of time there.
Yep.
Yarok, I'm really interested in.
Yarok.
I am not going to play it, but that's only because foils are 30 right now, and I totally will play it if those come down, because I'm probably going to want something else I can flex the Morophon Intruder Alarm Sliver stack I'm putting together into. And Yarok seems like the most me shell for it.
Oh jeez.
So I'm looking forward to both Leptis and Cobble's progression on the deck, and I'm really excited to give them a try. But that'll probably be a few months down the line for me.
Oh, to follow up on something from our last one, you had commented about how Yarok should be an Eldrazi, and the storyline is that he is an elemental that survived the Eldrazi invasion, and then he turned into a horror as he was living in the Balaget Badlands.
What was that word? Story?
Yes, yeah, the Vorthos people were talking about it.
What does that mean?
What is that?
That's where you put words together and you make cool things happen in your mind.
Oh, you mean like a book?
Yes, yeah.
Magic has books?
They do. But they're only released online on the mothership.
That sounds complicated. People read these.
They do. Now
something for everybody.
Yeah. So there's Yarok, but have any of you guys run into a Kaikar yet?
Yes. Yeah, a few times.
Not in cEDH though. That's Will's new casual deck, and it's been a house against us.
I've run into cEDH Kaikar a few times. Spleenface, who goes by his real name Morgan now. He's a brewer and a just kind of like a Magic player in Toronto or that area, and he's been brewing kind of Jeskai Storm Kaikar, or excuse me, Kaikar. I'm just looking at the notes on how to pronounce it correctly.
There's notes?
I think it's Kaikar.
Yeah.
Where'd you,
yeah.
Oh, I need to
Yeah.
see these notes. Maybe then I can pronounce words right.
Yeah, it's Kaikar.
So how do you say Kethis?
Kethis.
Chipotle.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, so it's Chipotle here.
I'll play some Herb and Drew Chipotle.
But
Hell yeah.
it seems really cool. You make spirits and then you kill spirits for red mana, and then it seems pretty neat. What was it? Future Sight, Magus of the Future, and Trinket Mage.
Yep.
Trinket Mage gets your top, and you just keep.
You draw your
casting
deck
top.
at that point.
Yeah, draw your deck and cast top.
That's nice.
It's pretty cool.
I really am curious if Doc's Engine going away hurt it that much.
I don't know.
What deck?
Kaikar.
It didn't even play it.
It didn't?
I don't think it was.
No.
Was it in there?
Okay.
It's just on Divergent.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
Divergent Verbs.
Yeah, Kaikar Stormlines are abysmal because you make
okay.
red mana with him, and red mana does like nothing.
Okay.
It feeds X spells.
And it feeds your top into Aetherflux.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sure, but you don't.
Confirmed Magus of the Future better than Bolas Citadel? Confirmed?
Yes, I'm happy to slam the Dan seal of approval on that.
Okay. All right.
Anything to keep Citadel out of CEDH lists.
Hey, I like it quite a bit in Tasker. It's doing well.
I know you do, Cameron.
Yeah, the first time I actually got to play with it, somebody else had cast it, and then I copy artifacted it in Mizet, and I
was not pleased.
That was pretty solid at 2 mana bowls, Citadel.
Real good for 1 and a blue. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Then when you can tick up Karn and turn their Citadel into a creature and kill it.
Yep.
That was SCG-Con. That was a good time.
That's pretty good.
All right, that's enough M20.
Yeah, M20. Then,
let's talk about other things.
Well, we've got the Timetwisterd games had a tournament.
Yes, they did.
They did it over the internet. We had actually Sky was the judge for it, which was pretty cool.
Judge, yeah.
And what was it? Let me see if I can find that top 4. So we had Mailing a Bear in first on Food Chain Sliver, then Bloody Wednesday pulled in second on Food Chain Sliver. Yep.
Yeah.
Then Jacoby was on Hulk Weaver, and then we had Black on a Hulk attack deck, which was Hulk with sneak attack.
Yeah,
Hulk Weaver made it to the top pod?
Yeah.
It's not classic Hulk Weaver. There's no stacked pieces in it. It just has like a Razor pivot, and that's it.
So like Hulk cats.
I think like it runs the DNV pile and a lot of the DNV tricks, but has the Razor pivot in it, so it's pretty cool.
Okay.
For people who don't know, what is the DNV?
Definitely not Virals is the deck.
All right.
The worst way to build Shuffle Hulk.
Okay.
He calls it definitely not Hulk Weaver is what Jacoby calls the deck. So.
I mean, I wouldn't want to associate myself with Hulk Weaver. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, well,
deck is not great.
I think he's the last one brewing it right now. So literally the last person alive brewing Hulk Weaver. So
someone's gotta.
Yeah, gotta keep the torch going because at some point it might come back. But
yeah, it's a pretty cool concept having an actually correctly judged functional webcam CEDH tournament for some pretty baller prizes.
It was very good. I was sad that I got knocked out day 1, but it was fun. It's a lot of fun.
I definitely want to thank Mystic Remoras and the card shop for putting that on, as well as the people in the community that donated some of those prizes. Thanks everybody. That was pretty awesome. I really love seeing things like that happen.
It was really
I'm
cool
excited to see more from them in the future.
Let me
see. That's the last of it.
Prizes, the top 2 prizes were Mox Diamond and a Badlands.
Yeah.
So it was actually like good money
Good.
pieces. Yeah, it's pretty
A
good. There's a
solid
lot of other
multiplier.
stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff added, and lots of like custom tokens and that kind of thing. It's really good.
Yeah, so Mox Diamond, Badlands, Wasteland, and a Demonic Tutor went to the top 4. Memory Jar, Enlightened Tutor, Nexus of Fate, Strip Mine, Playmats. Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good.
Okay, so next up we have a couple of pieces of information, one of which we're supposed to know and one of which we're not supposed to know. And we're
Yeah.
going to talk about both because we're rebels. The first up, we are not supposed to know, and it is likely more topical for us. And I am talking, of course, about the C19 product description leak that I'm sure all of you have seen by now. But if you haven't, we were spoiled on a basic product description of Commander 2019, which is the 4 themes of the decks, which are Populate, Flashback, Morph, and Madness.
Yes.
We also had confirmed there that the 100 main deck cards are all non-foil this time, and there's only one oversized foil card. So
I hadn't
no
seen
more.
that.
Yeah, it was in the same leak. You guys
Okay.
just didn't pay attention to everything. You just saw the themes and clicked away.
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
I didn't read it.
I actually read the whole thing. And in
Okay.
fact, 0 main deck foil cards at
Interesting.
regular size. Yeah. So no more Kess issues in Legacy. Not that, well, we already fixed that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So of those, Populate is obviously mostly going to be bulk trash and totally irrelevant to everyone.
Yep.
Morphs is probably going to be total bulk trash and totally irrelevant to everyone.
Animar
Madness.
can take some things from it.
The hard part with Morph is you still have to cast a Grey Ogre. You still have to cast a 3-mana Grey Ogre, and the cool part about Morph is that you don't know what it is. But if there's only like one good one, everybody will know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Like
So-
Nimble Obstructionist sees 0 play ever for everything. And all right, come on, Shaper. You know that Animorphs is not cEDH. There's nothing
Shaper.
about Morphs that makes Animar cEDH. Animar is what makes it cEDH now. Yes, whatever. You know what I mean. Then we have Madness, which actually has a chance to feel like any playable cards, but probably not. At most, I can see us getting like a real cute Madness card that is like a vamp or something that maybe gets played alongside stuff in Opus Thief, but like, I don't know. There's not a whole lot that okay, so Madness is probably going to be in Rakdos colors, and so Frog might get a discard outlet, but I don't know it's going to be in the colors they want, because I thought Frog was trying to come down off the black outlets and move more towards the green outlets just to improve like your Green Sun Zenith targets and stuff. But like I'm not a Frog expert. I don't follow that stuff. So so there's potential for Madness cards. The one that I think has like meaningful potential is the Flashback, just because Flashback is probably going to be a Grixis deck. Grixis is definitely cEDH colored, and the chances of them fucking up and printing a good card by accident are pretty good, given that they do it every year.
They did print Kess.
Almost every year. I guess last year the best thing we got was like Yuriko, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe a card from Madness, probably a card from Flashback. But as I've said on Facebook, I think the best Grixis Flashback card we could possibly get from a Commander deck is Kess, and we already got her. And they're not going to reprint her. So I doubt we're going to get a legendary creature that matters from the Flashback deck. There's probably not going to be a legendary creature that matters in the Madness deck, and there's definitely not going to be anything that matters in the other two. So I am pretty lukewarm to the whole thing. My hopes are that I will sleeve up a single card from Commander 2019. And now for your guys' takes.
Scotty, what do you think?
I'm never super hyped on the Commander precons. I bought all of them in 2017. I bought one from 2016, and I kind of just bought it because it was cheaper than buying Tana and Timna on TCG Player. I never feel too good about the precons. They don't like the land bases are getting worse. They don't even include Painlands anymore, and I wasn't super impressed with 2018. I'm not feeling anything particularly special out of Commander 19. I mean, I hope that there's at least 2 playable cards among 4 decks, but yeah, I don't know.
That
Give
would be
me
above curve for them.
give me single color partners, please.
Yeah,
That's all I want.
single color
I
partners
wanna-
wouldn't be bad. I had an idea
We'll
I
never
posted
get
at I had an idea that I posted at Gavin a while ago, which is single color partners that have partner with and then insert a Ravnica guild. So you could partner with Izzet, partner with Golgari, so that it would basically add a single color to a 2-color general, as a way of spicing things up. And that actually sounded really fun to me. That, like, take any Izzet
Circuit.
commander or any Dimir commander and add green or add red.
Yeah, Esper gave.
Or add black. I mean, it makes, Esper gave. Actually, no, so not gave. You can't, because that's a 3
Grand
color.
Arbiter.
Yeah, I mean, you could do
Is what I
Esper
think.
Grand Arbor. Oh, yeah. I'm
That
thinking,
is gave.
I was thinking of
There's
Gave
also
as
a
in
card
Gave.
actually called Gave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guru of Spores. So.
Yeah.
No, that's Gave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, I am actually hopeful for the reprints. They got hammered really hard on C18 on how, like, the decks were trash from the start. And literally the only deck that was worth anything that has maintained is Lord Windgrace, and that is
Yeah.
primarily because of Windgrace and Windgrace's Judgment, and that is it.
Wait, Windgrace is expensive?
He's maintained some value, and the
Oh.
deck overall has maintained some value compared to others.
Cameron, Reality Scramble? Huh?
What is that card?
It's the Commander Storm Chaos Warp.
Commander
it
Storm?
lets you exile a permanent and then flip your library until you hit another permanent of the same type.
Yeah, Commander Storm. It copies it for each time you've cast your commander this game.
Oh,
That was a mechanic.
Yeah, that was last year's mechanic.
How do I have no recollection of that?
Because it was that impactful.
Commander Storm.
I think the
All
Fury
right.
Storm is the one that I know of. Yeah, Fury Storm. 2 red. When you cast a spell, copy it for each time you cast your commander from the command zone this game. You may choose new targets for the copies. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So the only reason I know about this is because I built a Ral Storm Conduit Oathbreaker deck, and this was my
Oh.
spell.
okay.
Because you cast Ral, and then you instantly combo off on the next instant or sorcery on the stack.
Oh, yeah, you were doing, like, not playing Grixis Bolas stuff.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well,
So
I'd
that
say
was the mechanic for last time around. Hopefully, they come up with a functional mechanic that's actually interesting and not terribly overcosted, because all of those spells were like 4 to 8 man. Like, it was stupidly expensive. And they weren't that great. But you know,
I'm not holding my breath.
I am hopeful for a new commander. I hope we could get a new commander that would be interesting to play. I mean, we got Kess 2 years ago. We got
Yeah, we got
Partners
Yuriko
the year
last
before
year.
that. We got Yuriko last year, and Yuriko
But,
actually now is functional.
They've been on a downward trend. Like,
They have.
Partners, and then, like, Cass, and then Yuriko. So if math keeps up, then we're going to get something that
I mean,
is...
they did Planeswalkers, and we
Crazy.
only got Teferi, and then they did the experience counters, and there's nothing from that whole set. And then we got
got Mirren.
Marin players hate you right now.
that's in that set. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
Marin
She's
exists.
experience.
Yeah. Okay. So we got
Yeah.
Marin, and then we got
So-
Partners, and Partners broke the world. And
Yeah, so 0.5 to infinity is our scale.
Yeah. yeah. So there's some outliers, so to say.
I wouldn't even call Aminato an Estrid fringe. They're
Nope.
not. They're at the whatever the thing below fringe is.
All 8 cEDH Marin players.
Yeah, like there's more Mirren players than there are Estrid or
That's
Chainveil
great.
players.
That's
I've
great.
like heard of one person playing Estrid with Chainveil, and it was a casual deck.
To
Casual.
quote chat, to know why I'm laughing, they've said that I have made an enemy of all 8 cEDH Marin players right there. Yes.
Yeah. In
Fight
the
me.
spirit of abandoning things nobody cares about, let's move on.
Yes. All right.
The next thing
Seems
we
good.
are supposed to know about. This is, of
Yes.
course, the name and very, 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 very minimal description of the upcoming set for fall. The
Mhm.
code name is Archer. It is now known that the name of the set is Throne of Eldraine. It is
Mhm.
going to be likely the spiritual successor to the Lorwyn plane. It features a fairy prominently, but according to Morrow from Blogatog, it is not a fairy-themed set, so don't get your hopes up, but there will be fairies there.
Uno
And-
reprint. Here we go.
That's all we got. There's literally nothing else. We have no other information.
Well, the main color was purple on the stationery, so
Yes. Yeah.
there you go.
Oh.
That's true.
And if we're going with that, then someone accidentally used the magic card back from the Future Sight article when they spoiled purple as a color.
The
So
Soul Ring?
Eldraine, purple back, accidentally used the 6-color magic back, purple confirmed.
And I was thinking more Eldraine, Shadows of Innistrad, also purple. Shadows over Innistrad, also purple. It's a vampire plane, but they're also fairies.
So Eldraine, it sounds like this could be Norse, but it sounds in that vein, or like Anglo-Saxon mythology.
I'm thinking Anglo-Saxon fairies. I think this
And
will be like a medieval
King Arthur-ish.
romanticized fairies and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I don't think this is not the Kaldheim set I was hoping for. I guess that's winter, so it's thematic, so I'm still not wrong. Yeah, that's Archer.
Okay, we did
there
it.
should be more at a con that's coming up. Which one was it?
Gen Con.
Gen Con. They're gonna have more information
Yeah.
there. Okay.
That's next week.
So
So we'll
more
have
soon.
we'll have probably a spoiler or two from that.
Nice.
okay.
Next up, we have the audience topic portion.
Mhm.
For these, we basically just get audience questions and then we discuss them as a group.
Mhm.
So, the first question. I'm wanting to proxy some decks for a play group. I'm assuming the implied next bit is, what 4 decks should I proxy? Because every time that question gets asked, that's what's followed up.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 to 6 decks.
Yeah.
Well then, Scotty.
Okay. I'm partial to Shuffle Hulk. I think it's good to learn the basic mechanics of playing Hulk and playing out of the graveyard, and I think you can get a lot of that out of Shuffle Hulk, and it's assorted variants. So yeah, I would go with Shuffle Hulk.
That's a pretty solid one to start with.
That's one. What are your next 3?
My next 3. Okay, let's go. Probably Consultation Scepter Thrasios, as that whole I know it's too Timna Thrasios, don't be mad at me. It's just it's one of the more foundational combos, the infinite mana archetype. I really like playing PST or CST. So I like that. I would definitely say not Get Rock. Like
Same
of all
choice.
the things, of all the things, not Get Rog. I really like Kess. I think Consultation Kess lines can be pretty linear, and pretty easy to get a handle on. And again, there's some playing out of the graveyard. That's a good time and kind of foundational to like cEDH. And then the 4th deck is kind of hard for me to think of. I'm trying to think. Like, I want to say a control deck, but just because it's archetypal, but at the same time, playing control I think is based a lot on knowing your meta and knowing what are threats.
I'd probably throw in Blood Pod in that.
Yeah, I think Blood Pod, the Sans blue deck for the last one, is probably pretty good. Maybe Metapod gets you a handle on comboing out and trying to play stacks smartly, I guess. Yeah. I think that'd be good.
Okay, so Scotty, you are saying the first sliver food chain, Consultation Scepter Thrasios. You said Consult Kess, and then a Blood or Metapod variant, Tana Timna stuff.
I said Shuffle Hulk, not for
Shuffle
a sliver, but
Shuffle Hulk, not first sliver,
first
sorry.
sliver also acceptable.
Okay, so Shuffle Hulk, CST, Consult Kess, Tana Timna stuff.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cameron, what are your four?
I would definitely do a food chain deck, so I would go food chain sliver. I would do a scepter deck, so we've got CST. I would do a Flash Hulk deck. I would probably go with an easier Flash Hulk than Shuffle Hulk. I would go with one that is more of like just a single pile and you instant win. So I'd probably go with Breakfast Hulk.
Maybe something like Breakfast with the Labman pile or whatever.
Yeah. I would go one where you're not having to deal with deterministic issues or slow play or whatever, where you can. And just to leave that whole rules argument out of the equation. And then that last spot, I would probably say like a stacks or a control deck, or I would just leave that out and I would throw in Shimmers or.
Oof.
So
teach people how to die a necro. All right.
Yeah. I mean, so you get a good sampling. At that point, that is going to be mostly a combo pod. You're going to have people that are going to be trying to go fast, and then some decks that will be able to kind of grind out in a more mid-rangey style. Yeah, I'd be pretty happy with that. So first sliver, Shimmerzer, Breakfast Hulk, and
you said CST.
CST, yeah.
All right, my turn. CST for obvious reasons. It's been mentioned. It's not the like brain dead easy deck it used to be, because now you have to think if you want to die to consult on the end step or on your main phase. But like you at least still have most of the same decisions, and the whole like oops mana is still a win con. So CST, I would do food chain first sliver, because it's not actually that complicated to explain. For sliver loops, and the rest of the deck is a really good thing to learn cEDH on. I would do Curious Control, because it's not actually hard. I don't understand the people saying that Curious Control is a difficult deck. It's not a difficult deck. And like, you don't actually need to know that much about the meta. You just need to read or ask like 5 questions as you're playing it. As long as you're not terrible at Magic, it'll be a very easy deck for you to build and play, or to play. To build, I guess you need money.
Curious Control is that deck where you always ask, what deck card do?
So, and then, what's your last one?
And then I actually do really like Sacred Hulk here. So the other Hulk deck that people have mentioned. Right. Just because it has the instant speed win con, which plays well with all of those other 3 decks, but it's a bit more straightforward.
Yeah. So if we were branching out to 5 or 6 decks, we probably would add a control deck and a stacks deck if we didn't have one of those already in the pod. Primarily, so like for mine, I would add a control and a stacks deck as options. The challenge is, though, is with both of with a control deck primarily, is you usually need to adjust that to your meta, and it also takes a lot of threat assessment, and it's one of the hardest decks to actually pilot when you aren't familiar with the format. Then Dan says Opus Thief for number 5.
Yeah, I would add Opus Thief and Najila, I think.
Okay.
I don't want to give new players a bunch of wheels and expect them to figure out when to optimally use them. if there's one thing I've seen playing
Card overload.
cEDH with people who don't know how
Yeah.
to play cEDH, it's that they do so many like wheel pass on turn 3 or 4 and just lose to the next person to untap. And I don't want them to have a bad experience with that
Yeah.
because they haven't figured out that particular kind of quirky cEDH threat assessment. Like the stuff you do in 4-color Rashmi is much, much trivialer in understanding. 1v1 Magic gives you a lot of the understanding you need to play that deck. I think Opus Thief actually does require some experience playing multiplayer at a higher power level.
I think the only thing you have to know about Opus Thief is Whispering Madness, Cypher onto Timna, go to combat. Right?
Sounds hot to me.
Don't you cipher that onto Crown, you mean?
Oh, that's true. You can Cypher it onto Crown.
No,
That's true.
no, only casuals use Crown. Timna's for winners.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. All right, that is our decks. So the next audience topic. What are the biggest winners and losers of the ban announcement? Let's start with biggest winners. Who wins the most?
Well, so
You're big?
we lost Paradox Engine, so the decks that were running Paradox Engine were primarily mid-rangey decks that were trying to dump to get it to like 6 or 7 mana and dump a 5 mana card and then play another spell to untap to win. So any deck that's going faster than that is a winner.
So Flash Hulk.
Yes.
Wait, so you're saying Flash Hulk wins the Paradox Engine ban? Amazing.
Yeah. It just gets better.
Yeah.
Not by much though.
Yeah.
Not by much, but the decks that were primarily holding it back now aren't going to be there. So
What?
I think they'll still be there, but
Yeah, I mean the top 5 decks lost nothing.
Yeah.
Really, anyways.
Biggest loser in the whole ban list, obviously Kalia, because they got rid of Iona. Huge
Wait.
shit.
What about Pod and Carador? My boy
Yeah, that's
Carador lost the
That's
only thing he had going for him.
Yeah, this ban, it killed fringe cEDH decks. And, obviously the biggest loser, Kalia and Carador. Yeah, huge problem there.
I had to unsleeve my Iona deck. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I guess
Mono white
Paradox
agent
Engine
tribal.
ban probably hurts some decks too.
It's
Did anyone play that?
5 mana and it doesn't even tap for mana. Come on.
Rip bio. Rip.
All right,
rip,
so
bio.
Arkham got murdered to pieces and slaughtered and put through a meat grinder, turned into pies, eaten by the British. It was a mess.
Yeah.
Sisay, not full pie status, but definitely got burned in an incinerator.
She got taken out back of the Weatherlight and
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
Honestly, I think that's a big hit because I think a lot of people played Sisay because it was more accessible and it was a legitimate non-blue contender, and it's disappointing to see it go, honestly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, let's make Shaper feel a little better and talk about the littlest winners. The littlest winners from this ban list announcement are Animar and Momir. Momir, because Painter's Servant lets Neoform become a hack, which is cute. So, you get...
Yeah.
It's technically better because there's more cards now that do the thing.
You have better tutors to get yourself off the ground.
Yeah. And then Animar wins. I'm not going to lie. I have no clue what Animar really is doing at this point. I haven't
Painter's
even...
Servant, you make everything white, and then...
and then it has pro...
from everything.
That's pretty cute.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the
You know what that doesn't beat?
What?
Deluge. Or Cyclonic Rift.
Or All Is Dust.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't beat Ugin for -3.
Or Spinovish Saw.
That's
no
true.
No, actually no. So Ugin is damage or is it destroy?
Ugin is exile colored permanents with CMC X or less.
Yeah, so Ugin would nuke
all that shit.
Animar. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but But yeah, so I guess that's pretty cool. Animar gets a 2 CMC generic super counterspell sort of thing. I guess super Autumn's Veil sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so those are the littlest winners. That's really the only changes. Like, so PST technically lost a card. It lost a card that isn't a big deal. It was like a tertiary line for the deck because most people had started shifting to Consult.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, I had cut Paradox Engine accidentally or intentionally, I don't know which, weeks before the ban announcement. It it doesn't change the deck. The deck is not worse. The deck might actually be better with the whole that like occasionally that will happen. Someone will ban a card or a card will get banned and everyone will be like, oh, I guess you have to change this deck, and they change it. They're like, wait a second, all these things were already here and it's still better.
Yeah.
Happens in Modern a few times with Death Shadow did that. But yeah, no. Scepter Thrasios is still better than basically everything else. It did not lose viability, let alone like the throne. So yeah.
Still very good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I will call that done on the ban list changes.
That's fair.
The next topic was what would it take to shake up the cEDH meta from Commander 19 or Commander 2019. So, I guess interpret that how you will and give an answer. Let's start with Cameron this time.
I would say a new unique commander. We don't know the colors yet. So if we had some commanders that were in Bug or Grixis that had that were cheap and had easy infinites, that would possibly swap out. I mean, like you throw Thrasios' ability onto anything, and it would be a viable commander almost. But beyond that, I don't really know. I mean, we're not going to see new fast mana rocks. We're not going to be getting anything there. We might see a new mana dork. That might be good, but it's not going to shake things up. It's like the only place where they'd be able to print a new mana dork that isn't a noble hierarch. Because I mean, they're not going to print that into a set because they'll need it somewhere else. But they could print something that's a 1-drop elf that taps for Simic or something like that if they wanted.
I just want the Blue Avacyn's Pilgrim. Like,
Yeah.
when are we getting that shit?
Yeah.
No, just get gosh, what's the best card design I could think of? It taps for green, but if you pay 1 generic mana, it filters into red or white. That sounds Lab Maniac playable.
Sky Shroud Elf, yeah.
Oh God, Cameron, some of the cards you play just they tickle me.
Yes.
They tickle me. All right, Scotty, what do you think it would take to shake up the cEDH meta from Commander 2019?
Being honest, it'd have to be something pretty big at this juncture, I think. Just because at the top end, Tymna and Thrasios draw cards and make card advantage, and it would have to be something better than literally drawing 2 to 3 cards a turn, right? I mean, it'd have to be a big shakeup. I mean, someone in the chat said Kess, but every turn. I think that would be cool, or like an activated ability that gives a card in the graveyard flashback.
So draw new, but without tapping and in Grixis.
But good,
and without the downside.
Yes, but without all the permanent sacrificing, yeah.
But like, does that even do it?
I don't know if it does, but it'd be cool, and I'd play it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe a commander that wheels for Wooburg. Let's get that. Can we get that?
No, they won't give you that.
I know.
All right. I'll come in with the usual negative Nancy hot take. Literally nothing will shake up the cEDH meta from C19. When I consider a meta shakeup, in my mind, that means that not all of the totality of the peak of the meta can stay the same. And it has to be a good portion of that changes. A meta shakeup would mean that let's say there's a top 5 decks, and we're not gonna name names because that's a perilous journey. But whatever your top 5 decks are in your head, 2 of them can't be top 5 decks anymore. I would consider that a meta shakeup. And while we have had things like Niv Mizzet and the first sliver being printed, that's not a meta shakeup because 1, it only adjusts one deck. 2, it doesn't actually adjust one deck. It's like a minor tune-up at best for 5-color food chain, which we already had, so no change happened.
Yeah.
So what would a meta shakeup look like? What was the last meta shakeup we had? It was when Leovold was banned, Protean Hulk was unbanned, and Partners happened. That was a meta shakeup. So that took an enormously stupid thing being legalized in the format, a new class of commander so stupidly above par for a legendary creature that it is now arguably better than everything you could possibly do otherwise, and basically happening at the same time. And we're not going to get that in C19. We're maybe going to get like a cantrip, or maybe a tutor, or maybe a wheel. One card that fits in 20% of decks, maybe. So nothing. Nothing from C19 will shake up the cEDH meta, and nothing from C19 could shake up the cEDH meta because they will never make the partner mistake again.
Yeah.
And they are aware of that.
Yeah, jeez. Why you gotta kill the mood?
That's really sad. You just crushed me. Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably true, but I still am gonna hold out the hope for like a single color partner or something like that, but I doubt we'll get it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, moving on.
Having thoroughly addressed audience topics, we're going to move on to our Mulligan of the Day segment.
Yeah.
For that, our pod consists of the following: Consultation Scepter Thrasios, Food Chain First Sliver, Shuffle Hulk, and Curious Control. These are the 4 decks in our pod that we are going to mulligan. Consultation Scepter Thrasios is the deck which we are mulliganing with. Cameron, what is the pod order?
The pod order is... where are we at here? It is... Scotty, he rolled pretty bad and he's going last. So
yes.
It is Food Chain Sliver, Shuffle Hulk, Curious Control, and then us in last on Consultation Scepter Thrasios. I have attempted to pull up a hand. We've got our first hand. By the way, we're using the list from Shaper. So we've got Chrome Mox, Mystic Remora, Plunge into Darkness, Veil of Summer, Morphic Pool, Watery Grave, and a Narset's Reversal. Scotty, what's your take on this?
I'd keep that for sure. I like the blue source into the fish to open up a little bit of fast mana acceleration, protection. Maybe we can steal someone's Adnos with a reversal. I think it's good, at least for the first 2 or 3 turns.
Dan, what's your take?
I don't know. We're going last. Remora's weaker on the 4th seat, and all 3 of the decks ahead of us can be playing Dorks. I think it's good. I don't know as I turn 1 the Remora, though.
Yeah, no, I would. So I would keep this. I would be turn 1ing Morphic Pool into Chrome Mox. Probably, I think I'm exiling Veil of Summer and casting the Remora, and then turn 2 paying for Remora off the Chrome Mox and playing the Watery Grave untapped. But we will have drawn 2 cards here, so let's just see what we get. Turn 1 was a Soul Ring. Turn 2 is a Fluster. Oh god, we're good.
Yeah, the keep is useful. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's as straightforward as saying you play the Remora on turn 1 though, going 3rd, because there's a chance that going 4th, sorry, because depending on what both Sliver and Shuffle do, there's a chance that it might be better to leave up Reversal for your second turn.
Well, so that's the reason to play the Chrome Mox turn 1, is that you get the mana to keep your blue mana up.
No, I'm saying like
Right.
I hold the reversal. I potentially hold the reversal up on my first turn all the way around.
So you would be exiling the Remora on the Chrome
Remora
Mox?
to the Mox?
Potentially. There have been pods where I've gone forth with similar hands to this, where if I played out the turn 1 Remora, I lose to a second turn option. And I have imprinted my Remora that I could have played on turn 1, specifically so I could hold up interaction. So, like, in general, obviously this hand is objectively powerful, and just slamming a Remora isn't bad.
Yeah.
But don't blind slam it, I guess, is what I'm saying. Wait and see what those other 3 do first.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. However, most of the time when I'm playing, if there's a Remora out, the people who are being super proactive usually wait till they have an excess, like till they have double interaction rather than just single interaction. So I have had people really hesitate on going off through Remora on turn 2, but they will usually start going on like turn 3 or 4. But I think I personally would be on the plan of slamming Remora turn 1, and yeah, playing the Chrome Mox, exiling the Veil. I definitely would be there.
At least in my experience, that turn 1 fish, like at least in the pods that I play in, people are very disciplined when it comes to feeding the fish, and so that's basically a time walk in pods that I play in. So even if I don't draw anything off of it, I've established my board and kept their board states down for a turn, and that's, I think, a pretty big tempo advantage early game.
100%. Do we want to do one more?
We can do one more.
Sure. Yeah, we have
all right.
15 minutes left and not a ton left to talk about.
Okay, this one's a little bit worse. We've got Toxic Deluge, Chain of Vapor, Dark Confidant, Underground Sea, Mana Vault, Gilded Drake, and a City of Brass. I am not a fan of this one.
Wait, I think there's some dope stuff you can do, actually.
I mean, there is interesting stuff you could do. I don't like the fact that our only acceleration is a Mana Vault, and that we don't have any direct counter magic. We only have the chain.
Yeah,
but it's close.
Turn 1, you see into Vault. Turn 2, you City of Brass, and then you do both Confidant and Gilded Drake and have the best thing. And then next turn you can Chain of Vapor your own Vault, and then get another thing off the board. So this is like a really slow hand, but you can do some cute stuff. Like you can steal, you could steal like a turn 2 Timna from Shuffle Hulk if their hand sucks, or you could take like a I don't know.
So this is a social loafing hand. This is assuming everybody else is managing the interaction, and you're just gonna sit back and be like, okay, I can do something now.
Well, for 2 turns.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have stuff.
I like Shapers taking the chat. If that was my second 7, I would keep it.
Yeah, I could see that. All right.
Definitely worse than the first hand, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. Next, we are going to shamelessly shill upcoming events.
Hooray!
Oh, yeah.
What upcoming events do we have, Cameron?
So there's this thing called Magic Fest Vegas, where people go to Las Vegas and play Magic. We will be there. Yeah, so that is Magic Fest Vegas, featuring a Grand Prix at the Vegas. Or featuring the Mythic Championship, or whatever it is now. There's an event in Vegas. We're going to be there. It's going to be a good time. If you're in the area, make sure you stop by. we've actually got a bunch of stuff queued up as far as hanging out with other content creators. I know.
We do?
Yeah, I know that. Oh man, Spike Peters are going to be there. Then I believe it was Playing with Power.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Might be seeing them Saturday evening. Although I guess
Okay.
that'll be you and Luke seeing them Saturday evening.
Oh yeah, you're gone by
And
then,
there
aren't
might-
you? Yeah.
I'll be leaving.
Mhm.
There might be some wedgier shapes showing up.
Like the
between those
Manosaurus?
two. Yeah, I think that sounds right. I think the Manisource is going to play cEDH with us on one of those evenings. We might get some recordings in then.
Wow.
That sounds right.
Is he
He's a
finally going to
cEDH
bring his
player, right?
deck? Yeah.
Yeah. No, he has a really nicely altered
Angus McKenzie.
reanimator list.
Yeah.
Thrasios reanimator.
Yeah.
And I think we have someone coming who made Food Chain Tazri. I think Big Lupa's flying in to come hang out with us.
Oh wow.
That sounds right too.
Yeah.
Wedge from the Manosaurus and Big Lupu. Yeah. Yeah, so expect to see them in some gameplays with us in the future.
and I think yeah, Shaper, you are such a Lupu fan, you should come. Maybe we can have you in the background.
Just have him dabbing. Just have him dabbing in the background on your video.
Yeah, it'd be great. You know, the
Our video's background is the table. We do top videos, Scotty.
I don't see a problem with it again.
So we have Shaper dabbing under our opaque table covered in playmats?
he would just be laying on the
one-
table at that point, and we'd be
Each
playing
one of
on
your
top
commanders is one in each hand and one on each foot. Okay,
I'm so lost. I
that's where
don't
your
know.
commanders rest.
That sounds like a kink thing, Smurs.
Smurfs gets it. Shaper is the table.
Shaper's gonna get practice his planking.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, Vegas is going to be an absolute fiesta, and it'll be a good time.
Yes, it is. That's 35
Now,
days away.
For our final topics, there are going to be 3 potpourri grab bag things to think about. First, Scotty.
Hi. I like keyboards a lot, and so I decided that I would take a moment to talk about keyboards, specifically mechanical keyboards. Here's one that I built with my hands and a soldering iron.
I need to see this
Wait,
shit.
no, you actually soldered it all together?
Yeah.
Was it a kit
Oh my
or?
god.
It's so it's a PCB, and I soldered in the switches and LEDs and everything. Bottom separate.
Did it have a custom USB controller, or was it just part of the kit?
It's running it's a controller that's flashed with QMK.
Okay, wow.
So it's on the PCB.
Damn.
Yeah. But I built this, and then I built, let's see. This one needs keys, but
Oh, so you got the switches actually already all in there.
yeah, I got the switches in there. It just needs keycaps, but it's so
Dang.
clicky.
Nice.
How do you get cooler every time I learn more about you? You fucking make keyboards.
I don't know, man. So I've got 100 switches, like really nice switches, sitting in a box in my dining room. Because that's where keyboard parts go. But yeah, I
disagree.
I'm looking for another thing to build. So if any of y'all keyheads have an idea, hit me up. I gotta build something. So
do you have your own numpad? Do you have your?
I don't use numpad. I use function keys to turn other keys into numpads. But
Okay.
I use a numpad maybe once a week, so it's not worth
Okay.
it for me to have a numpad.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't enter many financial numbers, but yeah.
I do it when typing in coordinates on videos, but that's about it.
Most of the time, I don't know. Building a keyboard is like, it's like catharsis for me almost, because you just kind of you sit there with your bright light on and your soldering station going, and just watch the Lab Maniacs on YouTube. I mean,
Aw,
yeah, and you just kind of
how sweet.
sit there and build. It's great. It's awesome. I think everyone should try to do it and accept the finger burns.
It,
Uh,
building stuff with your hands and just like getting into it and building, and like you focus on it so much and you lose track of time, and
Yeah.
you just get stuff done and it feels good. When you're done, you get to step away and be like, hey, I got all that done, and you can see what you need to do left. It's so good.
the thing that I like about the keyboard is, like, sometimes, like, if you build a tree house, right, your kid will go play in it, or your little cousin will go play in it, right? But if you build a keyboard, you literally sit down at your desk every day, look at it, then type on it, and if it's bad, it's your fault. And I like that. I like that aspect of it. Like, if it's good,
Wow.
it's my fault. If it's bad, it's my fault.
Huh. Yeah, that's true.
I kind of like that rewarding factor there.
Nice. Nice.
Also, if you
My
need a keyboard built,
something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Since we have 8 minutes left, I have 2 related somethings to think about. The first is that it intrigues me that appetizers prepare you for the meal, but aperitifs come you down from it. And I never got that. And the related thing to that is I've been having some specifically digestive sake, and I turned red as a tomato.
Yeah, you
From
did.
sake, apparently. This
I
like
thought
this
it was
is
just
bananas.
your webcam.
No, I was just.
You've just gone rosacea.
This is my skin color.
Yeah,
I thought it was just minor ascension.
No.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hang on. I
Wow.
can attempt Vapor Dan again real fast. Wait, no.
Oh, you're better
more.
there.
There we go. Vapor Dan makes his appearance. So those are my
Red
things
as
to
a
think
tomato.
about. Kind of makes a fellow wonder.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, my last one is breaking up with my phone. This is one I never really thought I would do, and I didn't really think about it that much. I've just had a smartphone for like the last decade or more. I think like 2005, so a really long time. And I know, like, talking with my wife a lot, you ever get the feeling like you just have to do something? You can't just like sit down and watch TV. You have to have your phone out, or you have to be doing something else, or you can't just relax. That's something that I have had for a really long time, and my wife grabbed a book called How to Break Up with Your Phone.
Sorry.
And we went through it, and it actually has really helped. Made things a lot easier to deal with, and actually brought a lot of attention to how often I reach for my phone and how much like I use it to get out of conversations like at work or meetings that I'm not really having a good time with, and just how much I don't pay attention when I'm trying to do that. So just something that it actually made me a bit better. I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
So
I've been like
in your pocket.
Teeny bit doing similar stuff, and it's been nice.
Not
being on.
I stopped getting phantom vibrations in my phone. Like the feeling like you're getting a phone call.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't ever had those, Dan? Yeah, so
not in years.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I
actually just now realized I don't get those anymore.
Yeah, I would still get them.
Huh.
You ever got them when your phone's on the table in front of you?
Yeah.
It's just
not even in your pocket. Yep.
Yeah, you tap your pocket and you're like, wait a second, it's right there.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I got phantom vibrations, because I just don't feel this phone vibrate like ever, including when I'm getting phone calls. So I miss phone calls all the time. It's comical.
So it's just been nice. So it took like a month, and then we did like a weekend where we just turned our phones off and went out, and we actually were like screen free for the weekend, which was even a bigger challenge.
Yeah, because you got lost in the woods right before recording, didn't you?
Yeah, we were supposed to be recording, and we ended up going out, and we were hiking, and it was like my wristwatch buzzed, and it was like, you need to be recording in 10 minutes. And it was like, well, we're about a 15-minute walk away from the car. But it was a good time.
Wow.
I'm happy we did it. So.
Did you have to read a book?
Yeah, it wasn't too hard. It was actually really easy. It was big text. It was actually easier to read than Harry Potter.
Oh wow.
Ooh, 20 seconds on exactly that topic. I think reading from your phone is better for a lot of people, myself included, who process lines of text instead of words, because it forces me to consume media slower, which means I process it more at all. So reading on my phone forcibly slows me down. Exactly. There's less words per line, which means I consume less content in a single parse, which means I appreciate the content more and I actually think about it more. Only side grade that reading on a phone has for me.
I like
reading
it.
in a book is more enjoyable, but I don't process it as much because I just like.
Best part of reading from a book is book stink. Obviously. You don't get that when you're on your phone, unless your hands really smell bad.
That's true. All right.
I think we can call it as that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Scotty, thanks for hopping on the stream and joining. And
thanks for having me. And
showing us your keyboards, because damn, those are interesting. I had no clue you were doing all that. That's cool.
I don't know either.
Thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'll be it for July. I am looking into what August is going to be, and if we can do it at Vegas. I don't know if the internet's going to be good enough, but I'm going to try to make it possible. So with that, we'll say
a live month. Wait, hang on, they're all live. Never mind. Just kidding.
Yeah. Move on. Now, normally, right now, I would be preparing to raid a Twitch channel called Scotty Knows MTG.
Like an idiot.
Are we not going to?
Well, he's not broadcasting right now because he's on our stream with us.
I'm on the. He's on the Lab Maniacs month in review right now.
Oh my God! Someone should have told me.
Yeah,
it's an issue.
So, if you guys want to watch some cEDH gameplay, do you got people ready to go, Scotty?
I do. I do. Okay. I have pods ready to go. I'm
consummate professional, but I hate this one.
If you stick around for just a few moments, I am going to post a link to Scotty's channel in the chat. Feel free to hop on over. It's been a pleasure. Thanks everybody for joining. Scotty as well, Dan. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.